I'm going to give you 20 seconds not to be at TUSKA because I want to see us all teleport there because it looks absolutely awesome. Okay, I have a feeling we're going to be using the group bossing system for when 10-man raids come out. We will probably be using the group bossing system. Okay, so when I go ready now, it should come up with saying teleport. So what I feel is with 10-man, with raids as well, you're going to be making a 10-man team via the bossing system. I'll be able to invite people wherever you are in the game. So eventually when we get used to raids, I'll be able to get the viewers involved. Hopefully, after a couple of months, I'll be able to get you guys involved. And make 10-man teams via the group bossing system. Maybe even less if I've got some really experienced viewers. If I get to know you more and you're very, very experienced, then I can take you, of course. And of course, I'm going to be streaming raids all the time to show you guys the mechanics and things like that. But it's going to take skill. It's just bound to take a lot of skill. It's going to be the highest level requirement. Even I'm not going to be able to do it probably for the first couple of days, for the first few days, maybe the first week, I don't know. But we'll see. But once I ready up now, a teleport option should come up. Yep. Okay, so I can teleport everybody there. Let's go. Woohoo! Epicness. So there you go. It's freaking awesome. Alright. Okay, guys. We've got to wait 16 minutes anyway, I've just realised, because we kind of missed it. What up, guys? It is Justice here. I'm going to give you a quick rundown now of the World Event 3, guide you through the most efficient way, or one of the fastest ways, of gaining 100% contribution within the event. The way I've been doing it, the method I've been doing it, is with 10-man teams with viewership via the group bossing system. I've been inviting you guys in and teleporting you all with that OP teleport, which is so incredible to do. So yeah, I've been teleporting the whole team into the event. I've been doing it once every hour. The first day this was released, live streamed it. It was an epic live stream. Thank you all for who tuned in that day. It was awesome. Managed to take through 7 teams that day. 63 people I took through that day. It was so much fun. Now, with that being said, it is in fact easier to get your contribution in solos or duos. However, if you go on a team, it is a lot more fun. So each area, each time you go into the event every day, there's 4 same areas, or at least it's going to be the same 4 areas for this first week. Assuming they're going to add some new areas potentially moving forward throughout the next month with the world event. So when you start, you could start in one of 4 areas, and the pattern changes every time, as I know from doing the event multiple times. There's a cap within the first room at least of 25%. I think that cap carries on throughout the first 3 rooms, but then in the last room you can max out your cap to 100%. So let's say if you get to the last room and you're only on 70% contribution, you can get that last remaining 30% in the last room. One of the most efficient ways in this room is to really work together as a team. You want to build the 4 pylons. You only really need 2 pylons active at any one time for everybody to get max contribution, but the more pylons that are built, the more lightning diversions that you can create, and therefore more contribution. Essentially, you want to keep charging yourself up either by killing the lightning strikes or by luring in the sentinel lightnings from the pillars into the center. Also, you can tag the lightning. All you need to do is tag it once and you will still get charged up, so you can charge the unstable core in the middle, as long as that piece of lightning does finally die. Next thing to note, one of the most efficient ways to charge up your contribution as a team is to lure the huge sentinel lightnings which spawn where the pylons are. They are huge lightning balls, and when they spawn, it takes one person to lure that in to the center. And once it's lured into the center, everybody within proximity of that area will be charged up, and you will then click the unstable core and gain even more contribution that way. So as you can see, 3 sentinel balls being lured in there at the same time. That is a huge amount of contribution being stacked up across the team within the center. One of the best ways to do it is, if you're maxed out, it's good to help out your team by luring that ball in. Moving on to the next area within this event, where there are 3 methods to completing it. One of the most AFK methods is to pick up the holy fire and go over and burn the roots on the right hand side of the screen here, on the west side. That is extremely AFK, and you will basically have an adrenaline bar that's charged up above your head, and once that disappears, you will then go and charge up your holy fire or go and gather some more holy fire. So you're essentially just burning the tentacles over on the west side. That's the most AFK way of doing it. The second way is to go over here, interact with the altar, get a relic, dig the grave, go into the underworld. Once you're in the underworld, you climb back up to the top, target one of the undead souls, kill the undead soul, release it, and you become an undead soul. You then lure yourself into the light on the east side, and that will give you, I think, about 2% contribution. Now, An even more efficient way of doing this is to not even kill these undead souls. One of the most efficient ways is to go to the orange soul. That will charge up your relic in your inventory to make it bright purple, and then you go back down, interact with the altar, and that will give you instantly, I think, about 3% contribution, and then you dig back down into the underworld and then do that same process again. That's actually more efficient than even killing the undead souls. At this point in time, it was the second time I did this event. I didn't know this method was the most efficient, but it is. You want to go into the underworld, like I said. You want to make sure you've got a relic in your invent, which the only way of getting into the underworld is if you have a relic by interacting with the altar. Go over to the orange tormented soul, click the orange one. Once you click it, it'll charge your relic up to bright purple. You then climb back down, interact with the altar, and that'll give you 3% contribution. To get back out of the underworld, because you're going to have to do that, all you do is redig the grave, get another relic from the altar, then go back into the underworld, repeat the process, and you get 3% of contribution, I think, every time you do that. I think that's one of the most that's the fastest way, I think, to charge up your contribution within this area. Moving on to the next area, which is a divination area, where you're siphoning runestones to gain divination experience and to also gain contribution. You can only walk around or run around the agility course in a clockwise direction, which is where the gatestone teleport comes in extremely handy when you have a team with you. Every 30 seconds there is a different person that has the gatestone. You can teleport to that person by clicking the teleport button just below the bar at the top of the screen. So it really helps to identify who's got the gatestone. You know who's got the gatestone because there'll be a yellow arrow above their head. If they are closer to your next active runestone than you are, it's definitely useful to teleport to them, and that is the fastest way to gain contribution within this island. You siphon your active runestones, you have a look at who's got the gatestone next, and you make the decision of whether it's worth teleporting to them, because you can only go around this agility course in a clockwise direction. One really important thing to note as well, throughout these different areas within this event, there may be a meteorite that does strike on the island which you are in, within that area. It is extremely useful to mine that, because that is also a fast way of getting contribution, especially in this area where it does save you having to teleport around all the time. You can just mine the rock. That also gives you mining experience. That does, however, only last for a limited amount of time. Now moving on to the fourth and final area, and I love it when this room is last with the event, because it's one of the easiest rooms to gain your contribution up by just literally collecting the 3 seeds within the trees and using them on the main tree in the middle. Essentially, you want to chop the ivy that has spawned in the center. Call it what you wish. You know, there's various different things being said on the live stream, but yeah, you've got to chop the ivy which spawn across the map. You can also kill the roots. You gather herbs, you then crush the herbs, nurture the roots in the middle. You will then notice the roots starting to grow outwards. There's three different directions in which the roots will grow out. You want to keep nurturing them until the tree pops up. Collect the seeds from that tree, use the seeds on the middle tree, and that way you will gain your max contribution. And it's very, very easy, this one, to do. If after collecting all the seeds you are still not maxed contribution and you're still struggling, just keep gathering, killing the roots, chopping the ivy, crushing the herbs in your invent, and then keep nurturing the orange roots, and that way you will still gain contribution. Okay, up to the finale now, where you leg it south. You've now charged up that huge spear throughout each of the areas. You've got your group of 10 people. This is just a complete massacre now. You tiny little people, you just grab TUSKA's tooth, climb to the top of her head, and just absolutely stab her with it. And once you stab her with it, if you were 100% contribution, then you will get the max points for that event for that day, which is 1,000 points. That is the cap per event. If you don't reach 200%, all you have to do is do the event a second time, and then you will get those excess points that you need to max out and reach that cap of 1,000 points for the event. Moving on now to how do you gain extra points, and what is the cap? Well, we believe the cap is around 1,600 points. It seems to be different for every single person. Moving on to gathering that extra cap. Now, this is at your own discretion on whether you feel like you're going to need it. You can easily, if you max out your cap, which is around, for me, around 1,600 points. It seems to be different for everybody depending on the meteorite events that you partake in. But my max cap seems to be around, the first day was 1,609. The second day was around 1,600 again. So I think it's around 1,600 for me each day. I will be max capping each day, or getting close to max cap each day, so I can get the full War Priest armor and the ability within 11 days or so. So then I can review it as soon as possible and use it on stream and different boss fights. But yeah, the best way essentially is just to AFK, stand on one of these pillars. It doesn't really speed it up if you go to a lightning pillar in terms of fragments. All that does is just give you 10 times the experience. So other than that, it's best just to AFK, stand on a pillar, because otherwise you're going to get bored so easily. And even if you go and kill the Slayer creatures, it does not seem to speed it up at all. This seems to be the easiest way to do it. You just literally stand on a pillar until you get your max cap. How do you know you've reached your max cap? Well, it will come up with a message saying you have reached 25%, then it will come up with a message saying you've reached 50% of your daily gathering limit, and then it will say 75% of your gathering limit. Eventually, it won't let you stand on the spines anymore, it won't let you chop any quills, and it won't let you kill any of the Slayer creatures. The Slayer creatures are over here, by the way, in the south area of the environment. You can just click on the parasites there. They are extremely powerful. They probably will kill you if you don't eat, but don't worry, if you die, all you do is just float into the air and you come back down onto TUSKA. One thing which I've only just noticed, when you're in a group, your life points bar will go brighter as your life points reduce, which is a really cool attribute. Especially if you're in a really large team, you can identify the people who are struggling, and maybe you can use the heal other spell, etc. with Lunar, and different leech effects like that, which might become useful with 10-man raids, we will see. If you run north, there is in fact an Easter egg that's been put into this world event. When you equipped a Ring of Visibility, Sauron, the emissary of Zaros, will appear, and if you talk to Sauron, he will give you a few clues and hints of if TUSKA does win the world event, which TUSKA has in fact beaten the community over the past 2 days, then there's a few little hints of what may happen. There was in fact a piece of dialogue that has now been removed, which was here on the first day. If TUSKA does win this world event, will Virago go into space and defeat TUSKA? That'd be pretty cool, just imagining Virago getting some jet propelled packs stuck to his feet, getting rocketed into space and just taking TUSKA out with one blow of his fist. My opinions on this world event is probably very boring if you do it by yourself, but if you do it with a 10-man team via the group bossing system, it can be pretty interactive and it can be quite fun. You haven't got any of that PvP faction versus faction aspect though, like the past world events, which did input a lot of fun into that world event because you were fighting, you were PKing, but that just wouldn't make sense with this world event as you're all pulling together to save Gielinor from TUSKA. One thing I would like changed is that every time an event starts on the hour, you have to wait 20 minutes until that event is over before you can actually cap additional reward currency, which I think shouldn't be the case. You should be able to cap reward currency whenever you feel like. In terms of the rewards, there's this new World Eater War Priest armor that's going to give critical bonuses, and also a new ability that you will use for Slayer tasks, which gives, without Slayer task, 110% base damage. With Slayer tasks, it gives you 100 times your Slayer level, so 9,900 damage if you're 99 Slayer. But I have been seeing people hit more than that today, which is probably influenced by your overloads. I will be testing this out though once I gather it, and I'll be making separate videos of whilst having the full War Priest armor on, and also whilst using the new ability, TUSKA's Wrath. Thanks for watching today's video. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy scaping and good luck on your PVM trips.